my God, it's actually happening. It's actually happening. It feels so surreal. It feels so surreal. I mean, this is the best scenario. The San Francisco 49ers are looking to replace Jake Moody. They're looking to bring in kicking competition for Jake Moody. Thank God, man. For the past 2 years, Jake Moody has been our kicker. No competition, no real pressure, and he's just been nothing but a burden for the past 2 years, man. Not so bad as rookie season, but this previous year it cost us wins, man. It cost us games where between 1-score games and 2-score games. The scenarios of 1-score scenarios to 2-score scenarios. It's been atrocious. Jake Moody is 70.6% field goal percentage, which was 39th in the league. 21st in extra points with 97%. And his longest field goal make was 53 yards. Jake Moody is actually going to face real pressure in training camp, is going to face real pressure in the preseason compared to the previous 2 years, where we all know Jake Moody is a practice hero. He's phenomenal in practices, right? And that's what makes Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch just love Jake Moody. And the fan base is like, please, God, please get rid of this dude. And it's happening. It's actually happening. If you don't believe me, I know you guys are probably like, I don't believe you, man. They're taking this seriously, and they're going to move on from Jake Moody. Well, potentially move on from Jake Moody. I want to bring myself back a little bit. Not this is something I've been dying for. You as a 49ers fan has been dying for. Let's go ahead and jump into an article with Kyle Shanahan to say about the 49ers bringing in kicking competition for Jake Moody. Here it is. Shanahan was then asked, what about kicker? Will you bring in a veteran kicker to compete with Moody? Here we go. We're going to bring somebody else in. Okay, I gotta keep going. Yeah. We weren't going to go out and sign a guy right away in free agency. Makes sense. I know Brant Boyer, special teams coordinator, and Colt Anderson, assistant special teams, are looking into some kickers at some of these kicking camps and throughout college and stuff. But we'd more than likely like to add a veteran and hopefully get him in here after draft time. So they're going to go UFL, XFL, CFL maybe, I don't know. College where you can get somebody undrafted might be an option. Brant Boyer has no ties to Jake Moody. That was Brian Schneider's guy. And Brant Boyer has the reputation and has the resume of finding the right guys. He's an excellent special teams coach. And Kyle Shanahan has the record of putting a lot on the special teams guy to find their kicker. And Brant Boyer, who has the credit, like I said, is going to go out there and get Jake Moody some real competition. They're actually doing it. As we stated on Monday when Jim Harbaugh was talking about Moody, he doesn't miss in practice. So how could you create a similar pressure situation for somebody who struggles in the game when it matters, but not as much in a laid-back, non-pressure filled moment of practice? Here's what Shanahan said. This is a great question. You have them compete every day in practice. You get preseason games. It's all about all you can do. But I think when you bring in a guy and make it a serious competition, which it will be, and he knows he's got to bring a veteran kicker out, as long as we bring in a guy who's capable of taking that job and Jake respects him, that's what puts pressure on him. So they're taking this seriously. They're going to go out and find a veteran, a guy who actually can take the job, someone who could actually put pressure on Jake Moody, because in the previous years, like I said earlier, Jake Moody hasn't actually had pressure. Not in practice, not in preseason. Where in preseason, he has missed games. If Jake Moody has a bad preseason and that veteran kicker has a great preseason, that means Jake Moody's going to get cut and that kicker's going to take his job. Doesn't get more pressure than that. This is real. And I'm just super excited about this. Let's finish this article. I'll ask my opinion. You have to respect the guy you're going against. And he does have to beat him out at practice. Yeah, the games will happen once the season starts, but the preseason will be there. When your job is on the line, doing something, going against someone who is as talented, you do feel that pressure. I do believe that if he can overcome that and beat out a capable guy, then that'll show us he's ready for the season. So they're not completely shutting down the idea of Jake Moody returning to the San Francisco 49ers, as you should. Yeah, I want him gone. I want a new kicker. Like, do not get me wrong. 49ers fan base desperately wants him. But it can get worse than Jake Moody. It can get significantly worse than him. Keep the guy around. You have a 90-man roster to work with. Bring in like 3 kickers to play against him, to compete against him. Bring in a veteran, maybe an undrafted rookie, and then a guy from like UFL, XFL, or whatever, and have a true kicking competition. And that does seem like something that they're going to do. Now you're probably wondering, like, who's some free agent kickers out there that could potentially bring in to compete with Jake Moody? Well, there's a couple, actually. Matt Prater, yeah, older guy. Both these guys I must recommend are. Barely the oldest player on this list. Prater turns 41 just before the 2025 season. He missed most of the 2024 season after tearing the meniscus in his plant leg in week 5. He was 16 of 16 on field goals and extra points before his injury, coming off at an 85% conversion percentage in 2023. He was playing on a 2-year, $7.5 million deal, which is better than Jake Moody. Prater has been through it all, seen it all. He knows what he's doing. He can make those field goals. He can make those 50-yarders, even at age 41. And it's really the only concern you have for Prater is that meniscus tear. But it's been long enough, even for his age, for him to get over that type of injury. It's not his kicking leg, it's his planting leg. It's still important. But if it was his kicking leg, I feel like that might be able to hinder him too much. But the plant leg just needs to be strong enough, and that is something he can get over. So Matt Prater is a great option. I think you bring him. Nick Folk, who's formerly of the Tennessee Titans. The 17-year vet has been darn near automatic the last 2 seasons, making 96.7% and 95.5% of his field goals playing for the Titans. He just turned 40, though, and the Titans was reluctant to trot him out there for deep kicks, at least partly due to his age. He's just a few months younger than Prater. He played on a 1-year, $3.75 million deal in 2024. I want Nick Folk. I understand that you're probably saying, like, well, we can't make those 50 yards. The 49ers just need a kicker who can make those 40 to 49 yarders, those 30 to 39 yarders. This team is known to make it into the red zone and then not getting touchdowns. You need to have that insurance policy. Nick Folk would add the ultimate pressure to Jake Moody because he's been there and done that. I wouldn't mind Matt Prater either. Either one of those kickers can definitely do it. And you just want a guy for 1 year. You want one guy who can do it for 1 year that could beat out Jake Moody. You just want one guy who could prove it. And then Brant Boyer could do his due diligence to go out and try to find a new kicker for the future. But as of right now, Nick Folk is the guy that I feel like would be the ultimate pressure to Jake Moody, the ultimate competition for Jake Moody. And like I said earlier, it doesn't get more pressure than the preseason where you could potentially lose your job. Previous years, he has no competition. He has had no pressure in those preseason games where he has missed field goals. Nick Folk in preseason will show up. Nick Folk will make those kicks. So Jake Moody better make those kicks or he doesn't have a job. That's what I think they should do. Go out and get Nick Folk or Matt Prater at the very least. Go get an undrafted guy. Make this a true competition. I'm super excited. I'm super stoked about this. You as a 49ers fan base, I'm sure you're thrilled. It's actually happening. It's actually happening. They are actually actively trying to bring in competition and replace Jake Moody. Let's freaking go, baby. Be sure to like this video if you haven't already. It supports me a lot. I love doing this. Thank you guys so much. Sub if you haven't subbed already. Be part of the Wolf Pack. Appreciate you. And comment, what do you think? Who do you think we should go out and get? Who do you think we should sign? Should we even bring in a competition? Which I'd be shocked if you said otherwise, because we all know Jake Moody. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys think. I'll see you next video. Bang, bang, not a